welcome to the Women Are Worthy show. Okay, this is not part one, but part two, take two. I want to welcome, we have a phenomenal lady on the show today. We have Miss Gladys Dancy. This woman has, I want you to hear me, the first female owned limousine service, black limousine service, transportation service. Are y'all hearing me? Okay. We have history right here. So this woman is so giving because you know at Women Are Worthy, we're all about giving and sharing ideas. This woman has dropped so many jewels. She's helped me enhance my business. So it's our pleasure and our honor to welcome Miss Lady G. Her name is Miss Gladys Dancy, otherwise known as AKA Lady G. Welcome, Lady G.
Thank you for the invite. I couldn't wait to come on. Although yesterday we had a little bit, but that's okay. We overcame.
Today is greater. Today is greater. So,
yes, ma'am.
I want to talk to you because you are an original entrepreneur to do what you do. What made you want to open up? And that was a male-dominated arena you stepped into, especially the Caucasian world. What made you decide to have the cojones to do this?
Well, it started with the dream 35 years ago, and I wanted to do the first all-black female limousine service because I had family members. We all love to drive. And it was myself, my two daughters, and my two sisters. And so far to this date, there has never been another all-female limousine service in the country, black, white, nor purple. I'm the only all-female limousine service in the country. And I think that's an honor because I enjoy driving and I love to drive. And my business was geared mainly for entertainers, celebrities, and dignitaries.
If you don't mind, and if you can you please tell us a few of the dignitaries and celebrities that has the opportunity to drive in your vehicles?
Oh my gosh. Let's start with the very first entertainment group I drove was the Temptations, the Tempting Temptations. And from that group, the word spread it so fast that every entertainer that came to Newark or New Jersey, New York, they requested the ladies with the long limousines. And I was blessed to have purchased 2 white stretch limousines. When I bought my first limo, I didn't realize that the demand was for white stretch. I had a black funeral car limo and people didn't want to get in it. And I didn't know what to do. I said, my God, I bought this car. Now I don't know what to do with it. So I was speaking to a friend that does painting for cars. And he says, lady, bring your car to me. I paint it white, and then you can get more business. And just so happened, once I painted that old limo white, I got enough business to go buy 2 more limousines. From the Temptations, I've done Muhammad Ali, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, just to name a few, Sammy Davis Jr., Martin Lawrence, Bubba Smith, the Temps, the Tops, the Whispers, Phyllis Hyman. When I drove her 2 weeks before she, before she passed, right. She had on a very beautiful hat. And I said to her, that's the kind of hats I want to use in my limo service. So she took that hat off and gave it to me. And I will always treasure that hat from Phyllis Hyman. James Brown, I drove, Isaac Hayes, on so many gospel singers, James Cleveland, Dorothy Norwood. I would drive them every year for her anniversary when she came to Newark. Dorothy, Albertina Walker, Inez Andrews, all of them all requested Lady G's limousine service. In fact, James Cleveland told the promoters, whenever you send me a limo, don't send me nobody but Lady G, the lady with the long fingernails and the long hair. And that's the way I was known. But my daughters also drove. We did a lot of proms, a lot of weddings. And my business was so unique because it was all women. People never seen it. And I did have a lot of bips and bops getting into business because people didn't want to hire all women. They thought it could have been viewed as a girly operation, but it wasn't. I was strictly business. Matter of fact, the first job I did for the promoter, Teddy Powell, he was the first one, said, I heard about you starting limo service. I bring a lot of entertainers into Newark, and I'm going to contract you to pick them up. But our first experience with Teddy didn't go too well because when I picked up the Temptations, he hadn't paid me before the show started, but I was new in the business, so I
Right.
was just excited to drive them. And then after the show, I went to the office to get the money. I says, Teddy, now you can pay me. Oh, he said, oh, Lady G, run the temps back to the hotel. By the time you get back, I'll be finished counting up the money. And they're going back to the hotel in New York. By the time I get back, this place is going to be closed. I won't get paid. So I said to him, no, Teddy, I can't leave until you pay me. And it just so happened it was pouring rain that night. And somebody ran inside and says, Lady G, the temps want to get in the car. It's raining. So I said to Teddy Powell, I'm not opening the door until you paid me. It didn't take him but 5 minutes to find the money to pay me. So they didn't have to start singing, I'm standing in the rain. But other than that, I have so many unique experiences in driving. Passed out. Not only did I do the proms, but the kids in the proms had gotten so used to me driving and dressing up. Every prom that I did, my drivers wore the same colors. If the prom students was wearing black and white, we would wear black with white, rough blouses, red and white, we would wear. They would send me fabric to tell me to dress like them. So it was very unique to get out of your car and open the door for the prom kids, and they enjoyed taking your services. And I'm so blessed that I had a mother that would get, every day she would say, babe, I need some more business cards. And I didn't know, I'm saying to myself, Mom, is you using a lot of my business cards? But she would go sit down in the park in Newark and pass out my business cards to people and tell people, oh, call my baby, she'll take you anywhere. So one night about 3 o'clock in the morning, a drunk called me and said, baby, can you come pick me up? I said, sir, how did you get my number? An old lady sitting in the park. I said, oh my God, that was my mother. But I didn't get up and go pick him up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't know. But that was fun, and she was my biggest fan. And I thank God for her because she encouraged me to do a lot of things. And my family was there with me, my 2 daughters, my 2 sisters. And we just loved doing the limo service. But that wasn't the only job I had. I had a real full-time job every day. I worked in the mayor's office of employment and training in Newark every day. See, because once I found out entertainers only come in town weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I was blessed to do that. Even if they came in earlier before that time, my sisters would go to the airport and pick them up and drop them off at the hotel. And I think I'm so grateful that I had a vision, because I realized if you got a vision, God will make provisions. And that's how I was able to do that. And I've never been in a limousine myself until I bought one. And from that point on, I became very well known. Everybody wanted to drive, to ride in Lady G's limousines because they were gorgeous. I don't know if you could see this, but
oh, that's nice.
I even
That's
had
nice.
had one
That's
antique
nice.
and 2 stretch limousines. And
I was given some questions. I was given some questions to ask you. One of the questions was, how do you, as a woman, how did you not let anything stop you? If you can briefly tell us, how did you, because right now we're in a world where, you know, now it's women empowerment and things like that. And you paved the way. We're standing on your shoulders. If you believe it or not, we're standing on your shoulders. How did you get the strength and the grit to just keep moving forward? Because it had to have been hard. I want you to help speak to people out there who are, I'm tired. I'm working a 9 to 5. I don't want to leave my job, but I hate my job, but I want to start something else. Can you speak to those people?
really, it takes a lot of gut. and it takes a determination. You got to really want to do whatever you really want to do, not getting into something because somebody else is in it. I had a lot of knocks, and the most hate I got was from black brothers in the limo business.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying we can make some money if we get rid of Lady G. So I didn't know that was out because I required a lot of business. I got a lot of business that other people couldn't get because it was a novelty. Many people had never seen a woman driving a long white stretch limousine, parking it, getting out with very bad looking outfits on. We dressed conservatively, no short, no minis or nothing like that. My youngest daughter was a designer, so I had no problem looking the part. And I've always liked fashions. So that fell right into place with me, but I kept it 100. And one thing about it, we kept it strictly business. All the entertainers that I've driven, none of them can say that I got out of the way with them. None of them, they respected me as a lady because that's how I got the name Lady. Now, the reason my name is Lady, my name is Gladys, Gladys. What I did, I just reversed it and put the G in the back. I just twisted. That's how I came
Oh.
up with Lady G. I did a twist on my name. And when I tell people that I prefer being called Lady G, and that's an honor to just call me Lady G. You don't have to call me preacher. I'm an evangelist, but you don't have to call me Reverend. Lady G to me is like calling someone queen because that's an honor to be called a lady. And you carry that title with class. And I love it.
When you said lady, what I thought about when I heard Lady G, I'm going to be honest, I thought about the English titles in England where they call
Mhm.
someone lady and things. It's not like, hey, lady, when a guy says, hey, lady, not like that. I thought about aristocrat. Ooh, I'm using a big word today. Aristocrat. That's what I
Yeah.
was. That's what I was thinking when I heard Lady G. And I'm like, wow, because everyone knows you for your hat, for your clothes, your nails, because it was just when I first saw you, I'm like, who you are a walking statement. When you walk in, you command a room, because I've been in your presence where it's almost like a breath of fresh air. Okay, you just be working that room, honey, and I love that about you. Now, Lady G, what can you say about, because you've lived a long life, what has been one of your, other than your children and working with God and talking about God and bringing people to the Lord, what has been your first single most achievement that when you did it, you're like, yes, whether, let's talk about in business, that you've made it.
I love fashions, and I've modeled over 60 years. Started out with the Ebony fashion shows with Bernie Saunders every time they came to New Jersey. So I enjoy fashion. And when I got to the point where I can go on a runway and demand attention, not a show out, but what you had on was class. And I enjoyed doing that. And I think one of that thing brought me to the place where you carry yourself in a certain way. People will respect you. And that's what I tried to do. Even though now here in Georgia, I thought I retired when I moved from New Jersey 10 years ago, but I still do car service for the seniors in my building. I take them to the doctors. I don't charge them. Whatever they want to give me, it's okay. If not, it doesn't matter. I'll sit with them because a lot of the seniors now, they don't have families around all day to take them out, or even if they do, some of the families are working all day. There's no one to take them to the doctors, take them shopping. And I just use my car and I tell them, whenever you got to go to the airport, call me. And that's what they do. And I've sat in a doctor's office or a hospital with some of the people in my building from 5 to 6 hours. Matter of fact, one of the ladies I took to the hospital, they kept her overnight. I stayed overnight with her and came back the next morning. She had no family there. And I didn't want to go out to my car that late at night because they didn't get to her till after 12 o'clock. So they put up a bed for me beside her, and I stayed at the hospital with her all night. And I take them to grocery shopping. I have a client that we go to the gym every twice a week. And I just enjoyed helping seniors. Although sometimes I forget I'm a senior. In 20 days, I'll be 80 years old. And I forget that I'm a senior and I enjoy helping seniors. And that has been one of the biggest blessings to me, is to reach out for seniors. But not only that, I've also, in New Jersey, I ran a drug program where I've helped young people that got sidetracked with drugs and alcohol. At first, when I started the program, people were saying, oh, we can't listen to Lady G. She's a goody two-shoe. She never did drugs. But I can stand here today and tell you there's been over 80 people that passed through my program, and most of them today are still clean. And that is one that's in my group. I call them New Life XSA Outreach Ministry. I even had them to do a gospel chorus we had, and we would sing before dignitaries. We sang all over. I would take them different places to sing because they had beautiful voices. But you got to reach down to pull somebody up. I don't pull nobody down. And if I can't help you, I will not hurt you. I just keep it moving.
I love that, because I welcome you into our village, the Women Are Worthy Village. A question I have to ask is, and it's for me, where were you when you heard that Miss Houston passed? Whitney Houston.
I was in New Jersey. In fact, I driven her mother. I drove in Whitney Houston's wedding. One of her relatives hired me to drive him to her wedding. And when I was in New Jersey when she passed, at my daughter's house.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't believe it. We went to the church and everything. Everybody couldn't get in, but we were there. And I tried to reach out to her, but she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. But her mother and I, Sister Houston, we were good friends. Matter of fact, it was Whitney's father, John Houston, that got me to drive her to the airport and thing.
Oh, really?
Before she married Bobby, yes. And I've driven Bobby Brown. In fact, most of the groups that came to New York and New Jersey, I drove them. And I'm so proud to say they were very, very good to me. I've done all kinds of weddings, from the Jewish weddings to Muslim weddings, and I just enjoy people. I'm a people person, but you got to be a person that like people. You can't be in the business if you don't like people. I've gone to offices where there were people up front and they treat you like you were dirt. You got to welcome person into your life if you want to have a life. And that's a better life for me. I thank God for that. And since I came to Georgia, I thought maybe I retired from the Mayor's Office of Employment and Training in Newark, but I haven't retired. I hit the ground running.
Lady G, I gotta cut you off because I'm gonna tell you something, okay? You put me to shame, okay? Everywhere I turn around, Lady G, Lady G, Lady G, Lady G. Girl, you got me tired, okay? Because you are doing so many things. But what I love about what you're doing is you're keeping yourself active. Can you give us, because you said in 20 days you'll be 80 years young. That's number one. Number two, what I like to tell my people who call themselves seniors, I don't call you guys seniors. I call you guys seasoning, because without, you can have your, let's say if you eat chicken, it's blah. If you eat meat, it's blah. If you eat even tofu, it's blah. You got to add the seasonings on there. And that's what you are. You're the seasoning to what we're doing. So that's why I call my people who call themselves seniors, I call them seasoning, because you know, without y'all, we would be nowhere. So what do you do? What is your if you can share with us, what is your success in being at 80 years young and being vibrant and still stimulating your mind and your body and your soul? How did you get there? What do you do?
I come from an active family. My father was a pastor of Church of God in Christ in Maryland, and my mother was first lady. And we have always been very active family. Then when I got married, my husband passed now. I've always enjoyed doing things, and I was never stopped. I was always encouraged. And I did things people never thought I could do. Even with the limousine business, my ideas of service was quite different from the men. I started what I call the first angiogram. Every Mother's Day, I would pick up the mothers with my two nieces dressed like angels, and they would go to the person's door and ring the bell and say they were so young they couldn't even say limo. My little niece would say, "Your limo waiting," and the mothers would come out, and I had a red carpet out for the mothers to get into the limousine, a dozen of roses, and my nieces had halos and wings. And when they got to take the mothers to the place that they were eating, the families were there waiting on the mothers to get out of the limousine with the two angels bringing her to the door. No one ever done that before. I've never seen that done before. I just had the idea, let me do something different for the mothers. I'll create an angiogram. And that's what I did with my little nieces. And I enjoyed loving people. I enjoy seeing some people happy. That's my whole thing. If you're happy, you make me happy. If anything I can do to help you, I'm going to do it.
Wow. And I see that in you because I see that shine. And y'all, I'm telling you, you got to be in this woman's presence because it's a production. Okay. Whenever you see her, it's a production. I mean, when I look at her sometimes, when I see her in front of me, I'm like, this is a movie right here because she's so, and when I mean made up, I'm not just talking about makeup. I mean, it's like, the clothing, the personality, she's bigger than life, larger than life. I promise you, if you ever get to meet Lady G, you guys have to reach out to her. She's phenomenal. So, okay, with the state of the world that we have today, and when you were growing up, what do you see missing with the generation now than what you were growing up? What do you see the difference?
Mainly, it's a family connection. Now the young kids don't even acknowledge their families. They would, and a lot of them is fatherless homes, and a lot of the kids never had that never was shown what love is or what compassion is. So they grow up in this mean spirit, and you carry that spirit with you, and it doesn't get you anywhere. So you have to humble yourself. And I don't mind taking a back seat, but in my limo, I'm going to always have the driver's seat.
Love that. I love that. Okay, since you said that, you mentioned about limo and driver's seat. So how important is it to you that women support each other? And why?
Oh, that's very important because women has a tendency to be very catty. And if we can't help each other, we shouldn't be trying to hinder each other. My idea is not your idea, but if you got an idea, that's a blessing. I'll work with anyone. I'm not in competition with anyone. I can't even compete with myself sometimes because I do things, oh my God, girl, how you do that? But you do it. Where you get that idea from? It just comes, but you work on it. And you work on yourself, but you gotta be humble.
Is there anything that you're doing that you want us to know? Are you part of any organizations? What do you do? What do you have coming up? Because it seems like you're doing everything. So what do you have coming up?
Right now, I'm a member of what we call Seniors on the Runway. We are models from 55 to 85 years old. It's a TUT production. We travel, we do shows in different areas from Atlanta to Macon to Albany, Augusta, Savannah, and Jacksonville, Florida. But the thing about it is, these are seniors that don't mind strutting. We don't mind getting on the runway and showing our fashion because we want the young people to know we might be old, but we ain't cold. Ooh. And I thank God for that. Because you keep it moving and do what you like and like what you do. And that's what I do. And besides the fashions, I started a group called 2020 Vision Circle of Sisters. And it's just 12 of them. And we just had our first initiation a month ago. But because of the virus now, we're not able to do what we want to do. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to have them on TV. and different places so people can see my circle of sisters. And this come from a range of, one of the sisters in the group was in the Black Panthers. I got some
Really?
ministers in the group, yes. And this, I don't know if you can see this, but this is the picture of my circle of sisters.
Okay. Okay. Y'all strutting in the picture.
And everybody said, well, why you only pick just 12 women to be in the circle of sisters? Well, just 12 reminds me, Jesus only had 12 disciples. The clock only has 12 hours. A ruler only has 12 inches to make a foot. And each foot I would walk with you. A calendar has 12 months. I can spend a month with each sister and still and spread my love around. And I found out that heaven has 12 gates. So if I miss a sister at the first gate, we're gonna meet up in the center. I enjoy.
Oh my God. I love you. Oh my God. I wish
That's
a
12
virtual
friends.
hug. I love you.
That's 12 friends. And the t-shirt on that was designed by my daughter. I was telling her I wanted to do something with vision, 2020 vision. And this is the year of change. This is the year of new beginnings. And we're gonna get through this pandemic. It's a setback for a lot of us, but things we thought we could do, and now Corona says she ain't going nowhere yet. And I'm thanking God for keeping my family together and keeping them safe. My sister, that's 93 years old, has more energy than I ever thought I had. She lives in New Jersey. She is so funny. She's an evangelist. In fact, most of the people in my family are all ministers, including myself. But I like to minister in fashion, minister in my works and my actions. And I tell people I'm not a hooper, but I am a stooper. I will stoop down to pick you up, and I would help you in anything that I can do. It doesn't cost a lot of money to be nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't
True.
cost anything to be
True.
nice. So that's what I try to live my day, every day that I can help someone. And with that being said, I enjoy doing it.
And you know what? It's true, because people don't realize it's cheaper and easier to be nice. And there's no, you're helping a family. But when you're nasty, you can ruin a dynasty, because someone may commit suicide. You never know. So you can ruin a generation by being nasty to people. You know, you never know. So I agree with you on that. You are just so inspirational. Look, I told you I was up late last night. I could not wait to do this interview with you.
I'm very active in my church. I belong to High Point Christian Tabernacle with Apostle Thomas Benson and Dr. Carolyn Benson. And I'm part of the Pearls of Essence, the seniors at our church. And I just enjoy God. I enjoy being a part of something. And I don't mind, as they can say, rolling up my sleeve, getting in the trenches. I may look like I don't do things, but I get the job done.
So, are you dating? You know, I got to ask that. Are you dating?
No. Guys look at me sometimes and says, we can't mess with Lady G. She's high maintenance.
Ooh.
Yes, I've had a lot of high maintenance. That they think because it seems like I got everything I need. I don't have everything I want, but I got everything I need. They don't think I need them, or they come with some excess baggage. The baby mama drama, I don't have to deal with that. My daughter.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Okay, wait a minute. Lady Gigi, you just said that they will come with baby mama drama.
Yes, they do.
Really?
Old men.
That's what I'm saying.
Baby mama drama. That's right. I've witnessed them and seen them all.
So what kind of a man?
Now I'm content.
So, okay, you're content, but what kind of a gentleman that you would like if you were to meet the right person? What is that right person?
Oh dear. Why are you asking me that?
Just three qualities. Three.
First of all, he has to be a man of God.
Okay.
And it got to have a BMW, a black man working, and then he has to
Okay.
have a personality. Personality. Some men they look good, but they very evil. Because
Mm-hmm.
they were brought up in a bad way, they really don't know how to treat a lady. They've dealt with so many women, they don't know how to treat a lady, and it's a difference.
Ooh,
Treatment, as
listen
the
to
song
that.
goes, treat her like a lady.
Yeah, because see, you named all the guys that you drove with the Temptations and stuff. I love that. I like the stylistics because my husband and I we like older music. You know, back in Motown days, I like stylistics, Shy Lights,
Right.
things like that. So when you were naming them, I was like, oh my god! But you killed me when you
And then
said, and I uh-huh.
everybody was wondering, how did you get to know all of those groups? I had public relations woman in New Jersey named Jerry Coles. She said to me, since you're going to be dealing with entertainers, you don't contact the entertainers, you
Mm-hmm.
contact their managers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
she gave me the list of all the managers from California to New York. And what I did, I put together a package and sent them letters, showed them the copy of my limos, my pictures with my drivers, and said to them, anytime you're in the New York or New Jersey area, my service is available to you. And that's what they like. And that's why the other limo drivers didn't understand how I got these people, because they waiting for the people to call them. You go to the managers, you go to the person that's sending them out, because all of them are under contract. And there's certain things you got to have your cars together, and you got to be nice to entertainers. They come with a lot of
Right.
situations. The OJs and all of them, I enjoyed all of them. The Whispers is not a group that I haven't driven. In my 35 years, I can really, when I say I could write a book, I did just that. I wrote a book, and my book is called
Yeah, let's see
The
that.
Queen of Limousine.
Oh
The
wow.
Queen of Limousine. And in
I
this book,
love
it
that.
tells me from start to finish all of the entertainers that I've driven, all of the stories. A lot of them are very interesting. I did a lot of weddings and proms, special events, pastor's anniversary. They want to bring the pastor and the first lady on the anniversary to the church in the limo or to the banquet hall. I was glad to pick them up. And we looked upon whatever the colors were for that day, that's what the colors we wore. And the man driver couldn't do that. He couldn't dress like that. And that's what made the
Mm-hmm.
difference. I was in demand. I've made a lot of money with my limousines, and I've helped a lot of people. I didn't just waste the money, I put it to good use. And my daughters were always in my corner. They have been phenomenal. My nieces, everybody has been just dynamic to support me. And when you got that support system, that's what you
Mm-hmm.
need. You don't need no
Mm-hmm.
one pulling you down and says, "Oh, I don't think I should do that. You shouldn't do that." Because if had I told someone that I was going to start the limo business, I didn't even tell anyone. I went and bought the car and just pulled it in front of the door. Couldn't even park it. Then I says, "Come look at my car." And everybody says, "What you gonna do with that?" I said, "I'm gonna start a business. I'm gonna do something." But I know you got to have a design, and you got to do your research. You got to know what it costs or what it's like to be in service to the public, and you got to know how to treat the public. Because they didn't have to call me. I didn't have to have a list of cars of people calling me for service. And those that I couldn't service because the calls was coming in so frequently, I learned how to form the work out to another limo service. So I kept them busy. Not only did I have a piece of the pie, but I shared a slice with other limo services. I would call them and say, I got this group coming in, I can't pick them up. Would you take their schedule? And I made sure these are people that was reputable and that had good services. And that's how you do. You reach out and help your community.
And, and I
It
love
wasn't done
that.
alone.
I love that because I'm all about telling people I'm not about competing. I'm not here to compete with you. I'm here to collaborate, or I can complete
Yeah.
with what you're doing. We can complete it together because I'm all about collaboration. And I want people to understand collaboration is so important because it'll take you further. Because if you can get to point A by yourself, can you imagine
You
if you had
can't do it
other people
all.
to take you to point Z? You can't do it all. And I have
Can't
this
do it
thing,
all.
Lady G, that I tell people that because someone says, hey, here's a cake, Jackie. I'm going to slice it in half. You take half and I take half. I tell people I don't want my cake like that because what happens is when you're done with your cake, you want to come eat mine. What I prefer to do is give me the whole cake. Let me take a slice, hand it to you. You take a
And then you
slice.
work it.
Right, because then that means we're working together as opposing to when I'm done, I'm going to look at you because I want to take what you have. But if we do that whole thing, yours, mine, we're working together. Lady G, this has just been so phenomenal. I can't wait to get your other sisters on this show, the lady who's
The
in the Black
circle of sisters.
Panther. And it's been a pleasure. Is there any parting jewels that you would like to leave as an action plan or something that someone can hear that, because, it's a coronavirus, we're in our homes, it's killing so many African American it's killing a lot of people, but it's
Right.
affecting and impacting the African American community. What can you say? Because there's some people, Lady G, that are committing suicide because they can't deal with just being by themselves or in the house, or couples are separating. I'm hearing so many couples are planning on
Domestic
getting
violence.
divorced.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So what can you give someone that could brighten up their day today?
First of all, you got to know yourself. And a lot of people say, I'm trying to find myself. I don't recall losing myself. I've had places where I
Mm.
wasn't quite sure what I was doing, but I didn't lose myself. I may have lost the thought of what I was doing, but for as losing myself, I've never lost myself. And you got to have self respect. You got to respect yourself. If you don't know how to treat yourself, no one else knows how to treat you. Or if they see you treating yourself bad, they think this is what they're supposed to do. You're not familiar with being loved. You don't know how to love no one, but you have to love yourself. And once you love
Mm.
yourself, you can always reach out because love is explosive. It spreads. It's explosive.
Mm.
And if you don't have a support system,
Right.
that's why a lot of families are falling apart. They never stayed in the house with each other 5 to 6 hours a day. And can you imagine being in the house with the same person now, day in and day out? You never knew. Then this is when you learn who a person really is. Because a lot of women are saying, well, I never knew he was like that. Because you never had time. He go to work, you sleep. You sleep, he go to work. So you never had the chance to really sit down and have family together. A lot of families don't even know what it is to have a meal together. Everybody go in their room and eat. That didn't happen in my house. We
Mm.
all
That
had
doesn't happen in
family
my
time.
house.
We already
Hmm.
had time. The family would sit down and eat together. And my mom, my God, she was such a dynamic cook. That she was years ago when she was much younger. She was the cook for Eleanor Roosevelt when we lived in Florida.
Really?
Yes, lived in Florida. My father worked for President Roosevelt years ago when I was just born in Florida. But my family has been a family of first, and we enjoy doing things, and we like people. And when you like people, first of all, you gotta like yourself. Then you can like people.
Wow. Just listening to you. Your mother cooked for Eleanor Roosevelt. Oh my God. First
Yeah,
lady. Ooh.
first lady, she
Wow.
was a cook. My mom
Wow.
lived to be 96 years old, and she died in 96. That was my biggest fan. My dad died years ago when I was only 16. But the family stayed together. And even today, all the nieces and nephews, we all get along. Because that's how we were brought up. But a lot of families weren't brought up that way. So you
Right.
can't blame a person for what they don't know or what they haven't been shown, because they can't give it because they never seen it.
Right. And it takes a village. Well, Lady G, it was just so phenomenal, having this conversation with you. You've
Thank you
definitely
so
inspired
much.
me. You are so welcome. I just love being in your presence because it feels like when I am in your presence, it's a ray of sunshine. So I just want you to know that we at the Women Are Worthy show and we Women Are Worthy, we
Thank
definitely welcome you
you.
to the village and we so appreciate you. And this is what I tell people about people who are older. They're wiser. We hope to reach your age. Let's keep it real, the way how things are going. And number
Yeah.
two, you're my people at a certain age. They're my Google, they're my Yahoo, they're my YouTube, because we go to the electronics to get the information. But somewhere along the line, someone had to take it out of someone who was older and put it online. And I know we have this social distancing, and I'm pleading to everyone out there, reach out to someone who's older because they have story, they have history, they have knowledge, and they have wisdom. Reach out to them instead of reaching Google, going out to Google. We talk about this pandemic. I'm sure that was in 1918, the Spanish flu.
That
I'm
is
sure
true.
there's someone that we know who has survived it, or their relatives, like a granddaughter, who could talk about it. So let's reach out. Now is the time where we're forced to be inside. And if you are going outside, please don't forget to mask up and to wear your gloves. I know it's hot as heck outside, but don't forget it. But just let's reach out to the elderly, because I didn't want this to be a PSA, but I've noticed in this country, it's almost like we dispose of our elderly. We're quick to put them in nursing homes. We don't,
They,
and they
they,
have.
you know, they tell us, oh, you don't know what it's, you old fashioned. Old
Hmm,
fashioned. No, our fashion aged. And I don't think sometimes the young people realize they're missing a treasure by not talking to us. They don't know what jewels we hold. Just ask us. We'll tell you. Might not tell you the way you would want it. That's the whole thing. A lot of times the young people don't want to hear what we have to say.
right.
We've been there, as they can say, we've been there, we've done that, and we came back and did it right. And you can't make a mistake when you're trying to do something, but try it again, because there's always another chance. And that's what God does for us. He gives us many chances. And that's what He's doing to us now. He's given us a chance now to get it right, to
Yes.
repeat and get this right and get this country back on the ball. Not this guy against this one, the whites against the blacks, and we're not going nowhere like that. We got to make a commitment. And the group that I do belong to now is called the Atlanta, what is it? Clergy of Atlanta, the Black Clergy of Atlanta, with Pastor Betty, can't even think of her name, Betty Holland Brown. And I thank God that the ministers, we get together and we try to see what's best for the community, not just what's best for my church, not just what's best for your church, because the church, we are the church. We don't ever
Right.
have to go into another building. I'm the sermon that a lot of people has never seen or heard, but you got to speak it so people can understand there is love. And once you love someone, you're going to help them. You don't hurt no one you love.
Ooh. Ooh, on that note, we got to bring you back. So again, Lady G,
Thank
this is Miss
you.
Gladys Dancy. She is the owner. She's also known as AKA Lady G. She's the first African American female family-owned limousine service, even to this day.
Oh, would you
Okay.
believe that?
Woo, to this day, we got to change that, honey. So we want to thank everyone for tuning into the Women Are Worthy show. We appreciate you, and we'll see you soon. And don't forget to like and subscribe on us. Our Facebook page is the Women Are Worthy Show. Our Instagram is the Women Are Worthy Show, and on our YouTube channel is the Women Are Worthy Network. So without further ado, thank you. Bye, Lady G.